Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wherever you're watching from, you're welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank God it's Friday, July 25, 2027. Things are hotting up, things are hotting up, things are really, really hotting up. Kwankwaso came in yesterday and dropped his own bombshell. And many persons say that that's exactly what he said, what exactly Northerners feel. Um, you know, Kwankwaso is one of the major leaders when it comes to Kano politics. You cannot take anything away from him, giving his personality, giving what he knows how to do best, giving his red cap movement. He's that guy who, when it comes to popularity in the north, you can't take it away from him. Now that Buhari is outside the line, there are speculations that show that Kwankwaso might be the next Buhari, the person who might most likely lead, the north or have the vote bank of between 6 and 12 million vote bank. So he has that clout. He's still within the range of contesting for presidency come 2031 because I'm sure that he's not the kind of guy who wants to basically scuttle things in north and south thing, even though he tried to do it in 2023, even though it does show that he wasn't serious about it. So one would have thought that right now everyone is looking towards a new leader of the North. So who would that person be? Anyways, let's begin our broadcast today on the Guardian newspaper this morning. On the Guardian this morning, it's screaming headlines as usual. Let's see what we have there. Um, Look at that. Too much of good thing. How unchecked dietary supplements turn toxic lure many to early grave. Find out the details of that. Debts, 1.1 trillion naira subsidy, dollarized operations threaten energy transition. TCN replaces chairman, cites governance concerns. TCN replaces chairman, cites governance concerns. Army chief warns against abandoning Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Army chief warns against abandoning Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. All right, find out why he's saying that. I mean, he's the army, he's army chief, so he should have some intelligence reports regarding that. Let's see what we have here on the other headlines that we have this morning. EU editors partner to raise awareness on impacts of fake news. ADC CUPP kick as Tinubu labels opposition coalition of confusion. Coalition of confusion indeed. To the other headlines here, 2027, Tinubu rallies governors to performance, lures North with slots. We're not against coalition to unseat Tinubu in 2027. Find out the details who's saying that. Makinde unveils Oyo's tourism blueprint at summit. Killings, Fulani avenging injustice in Plateau, says herders group. Markets money changing lives of Nigerians as 27,000 traders benefits from stress-free loan. Okay, a market money changing lives of Nigerians as 27,000 traders benefit from stress-free loan. You can find all the details on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Now we're moving over to the other newspapers we have for you. It is, of course, the Vanguard newspaper. On the Vanguard this morning, banks, insurance, others contribute 1.77 trillion naira in Quarter 1 2025. EU editors collaborate to fight fake news and disinformation. 2027, INEC vetting 144 applications for registration as parties. Court orders police to pay NSAS protesters 10 million naira over rights violation. That's an interesting development. All right, but would that really happen? Would they really pay? The next thing we'd see now might be an appeal. And still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, 2027, Tinubu mocks coalition as Yelwata emerges APC chair, says it's coalition of confusion, asks APC governors to reduce hardship in rural areas, will unite, expand APC, says Yelwata. Uzodinma Lord's president's reforms moves motion to restructure APC leadership. Tinubu APC unsettled by ADC's rise, says Abdullahi. Fix Nigeria before meddling in our affairs, says Atiku. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, PDP zones presidency to South, where the rider moves convention to Ibadan, vows to recover defected lawmakers' seats. Defectors will return. If Wabara speaks, coalition defectors flocking back to PDP, says Damagom. We are ready to take back defectors, says Bala Mohammed. LPPC okays 57 lawyers for elevation to SAN rank. I'm not afraid of visiting any state, Peter Obi replies Okpebolo. Insecurity, 500 million small arms, light weapons circulating in West Africa, says CDS. Find out the details and even more on the Vanguard this morning. Let's see if we could do the Tribune newspaper this morning. On the Tribune this morning, ADC to Tinubu, diplomacy, not a single hustle. The writer insists absence of Nigerian ambassadors in key global capital embarrassing. ADC to Tinubu, diplomacy, not a side hustle. Interesting the way they put it, more like a side hustle. And insists absence of Nigerian ambassadors in key global capital, embarrassing. 10th Memorial Symposium for Ooni Sijuwade holds today in Lagos. Still on the Tribune newspaper, let's take more headlines. It looks like a very structured headlines here. APC chairman Yelwata emergence alters zoning structure. 2 NEC officers affected. I need your cooperation to fix the party. As-Wild minister pleads with stakeholders. Ocean AG and Nasarawa SSG, 55 others make new SAN lists. All right, it's an interesting one. Ocean AG, Nasarawa SSG, 55 others make new SAN lists. All right, you can find the SAN lists just in case you're interested in that this morning on the platform. And now over to other headlines on the Tribune newspaper. Still on the Tribune newspaper this morning, more than 1,300 die globally from contaminated medicines. WHO UNODC report. Markinde announces tourism reset agenda at International Tourism Summit. PDP holds National Convention November 15th and 16th in Ibadan. Heads to court to recover seats of defected National Assembly members. Others says APC rudderless, insensitive. PDP elated over turnout at NEC meeting. All right, still on the Tribune. Nigeria working with Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso to fight cross-border insecurity, says CDS. Federal government improves the energy transition capacity with 50.4 megawatts in Ibadan. All right. All the details you can find on the Tribune newspaper this morning. Let's see what we have next. The Punch has its interesting headlines as usual. On the Punch this morning, states slashing power tariffs must pay subsidy. States slashing power tariffs must pay subsidy, uh, says NERC. 14 villagers, policeman killed in Plateau attacks. This is a really sad story. That's our prominent story on our headlines. I'm sure we're going to take that story right after the headlines on the papers. Natasha to serve out suspension as Senate enters recess. Okay. Nigeria harbors over 200 million illegal arms, says CDS. That's quite a scary number. Um, let's see what happens. Post neck meetings, APC PDP set stage for epic 2027 face-off. New APC chair Yelwata vows Tinubu's return. Makinde Bala lead PDP governors in 2027 power takeover plot. There's an interesting headlines. It's all about the new man in the block. Not too much of experience. Never been a former governor before, but was an INEC commissioner in the past. One would wonder really, would he have the clouds to move the North Central? So many persons would say not really, not really. Other headlines: APC power chess, Yale Water, Peak brightens Shatima and Northeast 2027 chances. APC power chess, Yale Water, Peak brightens Shatima and Northeast 2027 chances. Fake customs officer arraigned after scamming victims 34 million naira. Satil. Makinde unveils new oil tourist hub master plan. Everyone is doing tourism because really that's the way to go. Tourism can fetch us a lot of money, just in case the white collar jobs cannot do so. And now to some other headlines on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Why PDP moved convention from Kano to Oyo. Applications for new parties hit 144. Wow. This dismissed soldier sentenced to death by hanging for robbery. Tinubu marginalizing North in resources allocation, says Juan Kwaso. 19-year-old woman arrested for allegedly killing two minors. Babio Bamidele clash over leadership style. Okay, it's an interesting development there. I'm sure that it's going to be an interesting read for you. Babio Bamidele clash over leadership style. How journalist was killed in Kogi. Find out the detail. Why APC selected Nentawe as chairman. Okay, that's an interesting development there for you. You can grab a copy of the paper right there to do good to it. All right, let's see what we have next. Yeah, it will be the story of the day. And the story of the day is the one that we have picked out for you. A crazy story, I must say, a really crazy story. Let's just tell you what it is right now so we could get on board this morning. So here is a story. The police officer, um, 14 villagers, at least 14 villagers, and a mobile police officer were killed on Thursday in two separate attacks carried out by gunmen in Boko's local government area of Plateau State. It was gathered that one of the attacks took place around 4 p.m. as the victims, mostly from the Chirang community, were returning from Boko's market to Mango village in the locality. The chairman of the community peace observers in Boko, Skefas Malai, confirmed the killings to the Punch in Jos on Thursday night. Malai said, yes, it is true, there was an attack on our people about 4 p.m. this evening. 14 natives were ambushed and killed by suspected terrorists, while three others were injured on their way from Boko's market to Mango village of Boko's local government area. Malai further revealed that security personnel had taken over the control of area ensured the safety of the community. According to him, the attack came on the heels of another incident earlier in the day where a mobile police officer was killed at his duty post. The police officer was manning a checkpoint along Richard Road in the same Bokos local government area before he was killed. Um, Malai described the situation as unfortunate. Our hearts are bleeding because early this morning on July 24th, 2025, or 2020, 2025, Bopo was killed at this duty post along Richard Roads, Boko's local government area. This is what happened in Boko's today. The chairman of the Boko's local government area, Amala, confirming the attacks, described the situation as an emergency. He said, I'm driving. We have an emergency in Boko's following attacks on our people. Right now, we are taking the victims to the Jos University Teaching Hospital. Let's talk later. The spokesman for the Plateau State Police Command, Alabo Alfred, was not immediately available when contacted about the incident as his phone indicated that it was switched off. Sources at the command headquarters, however, said more security operatives had been deployed in the troubled council area to contain the situation. Some residents, in their separate reactions, condemned the killings and called on the federal government to heed the demands to establish state police. Many state governments have been pleading with the federal government to allow them to have state police. I think the time has come for the federal government and the National Assembly to do something urgent in this regard to stop further loss of lives in Plateau State and other parts of the country. A resident of Barkin Ladi, Choji Bulus, says. Well, that's the story of today, and that's where we can want to leave it for today. I want to appreciate every one of you for being part of the broadcast this morning. This is a hub for breaking news and bold analysis. We would expect that you join us every single morning for the review of the papers and, of course, some of the happenings that are around you. I mean, this is a terrible story of attack in Plateau State. I mean, it's become one attack too many. I think we should now focus on what is working. I don't know. The last time we spoke about this crisis, especially in Benue State, the federal government spoke about introducing 135,000 forest guards. And I'm wondering, I'm asking myself, when is this 135,000 forest guards going to be employed? Because it does look like it's no longer even tenable. They no longer talk about it anymore. So at what point would we have a situation where we would have people not become serious about things like this? You know, I keep saying this thing every now and then that when it comes to things that affect the masses, it is so livid. Like the government don't take it seriously as it should be taken seriously with. But when it comes to issues, when it comes to the elites, the political elite, whether it's their salaries or their allowances or whatever it is, the speed at which they take this thing is unbelievable. It's outstanding. So one thing I would rather think and talk about is for crying out loud, for God's sake, it is now very pertinent that we should think around state police. But my problem is, I don't know whether Tinubu tends to, not be, because he is one of the persons, because I listen to him very well, that usually advocates for state police. But his IG, who is supposed to be his advisor, has publicly rejected state police. And so if you have somebody like IG who has publicly rejected state police, and you know that state police might be something that we could do to secure our land, secure our people, why are you not asking him to leave? After all, his tenure has ended. Why are you not asking him to get out of the way as somebody who wants to do the job? It is just so unfortunate where we find ourselves today. But every now and then we talk about how people have died, how people have taken away their lives, how people just lose their lives owing to ragtag, people who don't matter in the scheme of things. And then we come in here every day and scream and shout, and yet nothing happens. It is just so unfortunate, and unfortunate it is really. There's another story that is trending, and I thought that it's one that is just really crazy. The Jigawa State Police Command has arrested two suspects in connection with murder and armed robbery cases in different parts of the state. According to a statement made available to Newspen on Thursday in Dutse, the state's capital, by the police public relations officer SP Shisu Adam. The first suspect, Ilyasu Musa, a 40-year-old man from Dengewai village, Aujara districts, was arrested for allegedly killing his ex-wife, Hadiza Saleh, 30, of Afasha village. According to the statement, the suspect had been evading arrest since July 10, 2025, when he allegedly committed the crime. The police stated that Musa set up an ambush near the victim's house and hit her on the head with a stick as she returned from the market in the middle of the night. Wow, do people go to the market in the middle of the night? The couple had six children together. The statement read in parts, the suspect was finally apprehended on July 23rd, 2025 at Larabaran Tambarin Guani village, where he had been hiding and currently he is undergoing investigation at the State Criminal Investigation Department prior to his prosecution in court. In a separate incident, the command said it has arrested a 20-year-old suspect, Alpha Samaria, from Sambawan Onguwa, Roni local government area, in connection with an armed robbery case. The suspect was one of the hoodlums who invaded the residence of Abubakar Yahaya, broke into the house, physically assaulted him, stabbed him with a sharp object, and stole 170,000 naira and Technohot 40i smartphone. The VPRO states that the police received a distress call on July 21, 2025 at about 4:30 a.m. and promptly visited the scene. The victims was rushed to the Roni Primary Health Center where he received medical attention and was later discharged. However, the police spokesperson noted in his statement that the State Commissioner of Police, Dahiru Mohammed, commended the gallant efforts of officers attached to the Aujara and Roni divisions. He reaffirmed the command's commitment to maintaining peace, protecting lives and property, and ensuring that criminal elements have no hiding place within the state. Mohammed called on residents to remain law abiding and to support the police with credible and timely information that could aid in crime prevention and detection. He then assured all that the command remains vigilant and proactive in its policing strategies to rid the state of all forms of criminality. Indeed, another statement reads, the Jigawa State Police Command is committed to operating with professionalism, integrity, and diligence in pursuit of a safer and more secure society for all, as command's renewed efforts have led to the arrest of several suspects, and it will continue to work tirelessly to ensure that justice is served. Furthermore, the police urge to anyone with information about the fleeing suspects to come forward and assist in the investigation. The command's commitment to transparency and accountability is evident in its efforts to keep the police informed about its activities. The statements read. Right, that's the really crazy story that we're following for you at this time, but we want to appreciate every one of you for being part of the broadcast today. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place on this channel, 7:30 a.m. Don't miss it for anything. Set your alarms. But of course, we come on air every now and then, especially as it concerns breaking news. Like today, we're going to be up by 2 p.m. for some interesting discourse that we have for you. So stick around on our community tab. Would you find out some of the interesting details of what we have in store for you? I'm Charles. This is Cheesy Media. I appreciate you once again. Take care. Have a beautiful day just ahead.